children with autism and cerebral palsy have heart problems, for example, because the heart has to work harder. In later life. Mm-hmm. And problems, circulatory problems, a whole lot of immune problems which relate to the development of their respiratory apparatus, because they weren't able to do this. But the brain is very plastic, and it receives that information, and it isn't just the brain isolated. The brain depends on the respiratory circulatory system, and of course the whole development of the infrastructure of blood vessels. So these blood vessels don't just grow spontaneously, they grow as a result of the pressure of the breath and the movement of the biochemics of the body, pushing the blood through the blood vessel, which causes the blood vessel to grow and branch, and also create the little sphincter muscles that push the blood forwards, and the valves that push it back up to the heart. So good example of how this can be ruined is if you put a child with cerebral palsy who cannot walk in a standing frame or a walker, where they have to fight against gravity, or their respiratory system is not enhanced, it's exhausted. The movement of the blood is reduced. Blood stagnates. It is the oxygen is taken from it. So the refreshment of the tissues and the speed with which the nerve that depends upon blood flow to react and send the appropriate signals is undermined, and in the end your legs lose whatever use they had. And then, of course, it said, well, we expected this. We just put more gaiters on and splints and stand you up, prop you up as if you were a little puppet. But doesn't have to be this way at all.
So you found that the standard method for, quote, treating cerebral palsy actually ultimately makes the situation much worse and
very destructive,
and prevents any possibility of improvement.
Mm-hmm. It's tragic, because I in the beginning, 20 odd years ago, I didn't really, if a parent was doing the therapy but they're putting their child in a standing frame, and they had enough problem with their physios anyway, I tended to pull back a little bit. But then 5 years later, when I saw the results of being in the standing frame to the legs of the children, I had to start to intervene. And when I started to work with children, I thought I was really just looking at the developmental problem and its origin. Then I realized, no, I was also looking at the so-called therapeutic treatments that had been imposed upon the child, often extraordinarily early. And if you have any idea of physics and architecture and the foundations of a building, I don't know what the physios think we're actually, what the construct of a human body is, how it works. It's most extraordinary. But they were really departing from this, and this is ingrained in their system, unfortunately, and it's causing a lot of the problem. It really is.
You pointed out that part of your task with Hugo, in addition to helping him learn to crawl successfully, is keeping him out of these braces.
Yes.
And the school's in a rush to brace him and prop him up.
Yes. As soon as they saw, oh, isn't he doing well? He has the potential. It's time he was now walking and standing. We'll put him up like that. But I suppose even typical children, if parents are lured into trying to speed up the process of their development, they would be put in equipment that would apparently be pleasurable to the child, but ruinous to the joints, like bouncers. And again, I think that they had a lot of a little seat that the child would sit in, and it could pedal around with its legs. But this is so far removed from what is the essential biomechanical development of the nervous system through the joints, and recognizing that we are a fluid system. I just was horrified to see that this has gone on and on and on for decade after decade after decade. And a whole body of work, which is so interesting, could have perhaps aroused some interest in researchers, but it hasn't at all. And if anything got near, it's just pushed to one side.